preseason for
It's all right.
He's trying to get him.
Which one is it? Yeah.
Yes. It's the iPhone 5 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Coach, what is just the overall message as it pertains to game 2 of the preseason? What do you want to see in relation to game 1?
Be better than game 1. We went back, watched the film as a group, saw areas where we could improve and be more consistent. The spacing, the ball movement, some of the turnovers, execution, those types of things on both ends of the floor. Like, we want to be better than we were in game 1.
With that spacing, we were talking with Karius just about how different roles that he has, depending on the lineups that he has. How have you seen him taking on the challenge of figuring out what those roles are and executing no matter the lineup?
He's been as selfless as you can imagine somebody being, of somebody just trying to make it work. Sometimes to a point where, we want to push him to do more. And that's going to be a matter of time. Like, when you're playing with Donovan and Darius, like, he understands that he's going to do more facilitating at times. But he also, is going to recognize that we want him to play to his strength. So when he has his opportunities, like, he can go out and go and get it because he is such a capable scorer. But, like, you look at what he's doing on the defensive end of the floor. And it's not just, obviously it's only been one preseason game, but it's been like consistent through training camp, through when the guys were playing pickup, like every drill we do, like, he's locked in with that mindset that he's going to help us, as a defensive player first, and then obviously go to his package offensively once we get our rotations and things like that. And he may be with some of the second unit at times, need to carry more of a load.
He said so much of his offseason was really based off of just trying to get his body right, conditioning-wise, health, all of that. How much have you seen that pay off in what you just talked about?
It was easy for him to stand out because he was in such great condition coming in to all the things that we've been doing so far. And you watch, like, the speed and the force that he plays with and the consistency that he's doing it. That's because he is in great shape already.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. JB, is it fair to say that going into the regular season this year, you have a better handle, a better grasp on who you guys are and what you want to be as opposed to last year?
I think spiritually we do. I think there are still going to be, rotation things that we have to figure out. Obviously Evan missing preseason is going to impact that. We still haven't been able to have that group of 5, so to speak, and see what groups play best together and how they complement one another. So that's going to be part of the learning process. But I think we understand, what we're trying to accomplish as a team on both ends of the floor for sure.
Does that in any way alter how you've approached this year's preseason?
No. Well, the not knowing the lineups, rotations, the best pairings, that's impacted what we've done. We've tried to mix and match a little bit more, than we have, in the past, because again, the Donovan, Darius, Karius, like, those pieces are so new together. So we have kind of, mixed with those a little bit more. We've still, put the hammer down pretty hard on, making our training camp difficult. You know what I mean? Like, we want to have some adversity. We want to see how guys respond to tough times, like, the beep test, all the conditioning we've been doing and all those things. Like, we want to see how people respond to that. So, from that standpoint, we've tried to make it as difficult as we can, obviously being intelligent to make sure we get to where we want to be healthy.
And then at the start of training camp, you were talking about Dylan and just the shape that he was in mentally and physically. How does this latest injury setback, how does that factor into whether or not he can be the starting small forward on opening night?
Obviously the reps are missed, and so it would make it a difficult option because he hasn't had a chance to play. I think it's something that, again, he would have to work his way into just because of the missed opportunities, and we haven't had an opportunity to see it.
Kelsey, The Athletic.
JD, building off of that, not having certain guys available for preseason, how do you balance that then with trying to find those rotations, those lineups, while also kind of knowing it is going to look different?
Yeah, I mean, you have a really good idea of the guys that are going to play, right, and the minutes that they're going to command. So you have to build it around that and give those guys the opportunity to play those minutes, right? Darius and Karis and Donovan are going to play extended minutes. So Jared, how do you mix and match those guys, with the compliments of the Dean Wades and Jetties and Isaacs and all those things. So we've got enough bodies left. Obviously we won't know for sure until they're all there together and have extended minutes together. But we've got enough of them to try to get the most out of what we have.
And Donovan said the other night, I think after the first preseason game, how you guys didn't have to call as many plays, which kind of allowed for this kind of free flow. How helpful is that in preseason, especially as they're getting used to one another, that there doesn't have to be so many set plays called so they can just play?
It's difficult to guard and deal with random actions, right? So it's funny because the stuff that we implement, our goal is to teach people how to play basketball so that they can read defenses and react to where the ball is and figure out their spacing. So all of the plays that we put in are basketball actions that if we want to run a play, we can get to. But if not, it's just teaching guys how to play basketball in certain circumstances. So defenses have a better opportunity if we call, 2 down to figure out where they need to be and where the ball is being directed. If we don't have to call it and our guys can just read and react to ball movement and defensive coverages, then it makes us a little bit more difficult to guard.
Well, right now, our Akron Beacon Journal, when you're talking about playing faster, do you have almost like an old school team you would show them, or you know what I mean, just some ideal of
Yeah, again, I hesitate to say play fast because we're not in a hurry. I want us to take advantage of easy opportunities. We need to create those opportunities by running the floor, but we're never going to be just a jack up shots team because we want to play quickly. We want to put our offense in a position that it can protect our defense, right? When you start just doing this and taking bad shots and there's no floor balance, then your defense is going to suffer as well. So we want to control the shots that we take so that our defense can be set because, again, obviously there's improvement on the offensive end of the floor for us by additions. But at the same time, our focus will be on our defense because we know that can separate us and take us to another level.
But you think of it an old team that
I have not, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I was just curious what would be gold standard.
Right. I'm trying to, it's like the Rockets were one standard, we're not going to be there.
Right.
But, I do think we have the pieces to have a great combination of, playing early, in an open floor and also, playing in the set half court. So we'll find that good blend.
Are these guys used to this now that they're not complaining? I mean, Donovan said this is the hardest camp he's ever been in. I mean, are they on board now?
Yeah, again, I say this and I don't say it lightly, but we have not had one private complaint. They joke around to you guys, and I'm sure there's some seriousness behind it. But every single time we ask the guys to do something, they just go and do it. And I think they bought in again to something that's greater than themselves and understand what it takes to get there.
JD, how is Dylan doing in terms of recovery?
He's getting better. He's not on the court yet, or I think today or tomorrow. He was supposed to get back on the court after we were in shoot around, depending on how his treatment and rehab went today. But that would just be spot shooting at this point.
And you had mentioned reps for Dylan, but in the vein with Evan, he's missing the entire preseason at this point. Do you have any concern just trying to get him to fit in with the new offensive and defensive scheme you guys may have going with Donovan and Allen?
The defense will be pretty much the same, and so I'm comfortable with that. As rare as it is, Evan's basketball IQ is what we teach every single day, right? We were talking about teaching guys how to play basketball. That's what Evan excels at naturally. He just understands the game at a higher level than most second-year players do, and even as a rookie. So I don't think it'll be difficult for him. Again, how everybody else incorporates him, you know what I mean? Like, I think we should expect some patience because they haven't had those reps. And, you know, like Donovan's never got a chance to play with him, you know, in an NBA game. So understanding, you know, how good he is at setting screens, getting out in the pocket and making plays, you know, the different angles that the screens have to be made at and those types of things, those will take time. But again, you know, his ability to play the game, you know, will make him comfortable early. And then the more comfortable he gets, the better he'll be.
Just one more quick thing about Harris. Now that you've seen him, do you almost realize how much you didn't see last year? You know what I mean? Like that you never saw the real character.
Yeah, and I think he's different. You know what I mean? Like his mindset this year is different, and he embraced that over the summer. You know, it wasn't just the trade that triggered something in his mind. He knew no matter what, you know, he was going to have to be a defensive presence for us. And that, again, is what to me stands out with these guys is like the environment that's been created. People want to fit in and be a part of it, right? And we do take our defense serious. So even guys who have been known to be scorers throughout their career, like they come here and they want to fit on that end as well. So part of his conditioning and all that stuff was so that he could be an elite two-way player, right? We know his capabilities offensively, but it's hard to do that and then guard the other team's best player. So he was preparing himself for that.
Thank
All right,
you.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Rivers will be available in 6